Hello, hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Hello, welcome to Lima again. Be welcome to the beautiful capital of Peru. My name is Vanessa Vasquez. I am your Lima city guide. And today, well, let me tell you something. I officially gave up with the climate of Lima. So my sunset tours will be called, since now on, clouds, surfers, and stories. Because today, once again, Lima is surprising us with this. Of course, the typical clouds of the city. Here also with the Pacific view behind. Hola Molly, hello. Thanks for visiting Lima today. And we are going to have a fun walk here with lots of stories related with the different ethnicities of the country, the different backgrounds, who Limanians are. Are we the children of the Incas only? Are we the children of the Spanish conquistadors? Or the answer is a bit more complex. And to answer this question, let me show you today one really interesting park. It's a very new park. It is called the Park Peru-China, the park of the celebration of the Chinese influence. And look how many people are coming today to the park. So before we start this tour, let me say hi to you all officially. My name is Vanessa Vasquez. I am your Lima City guide. Thanks so much for joining this tour today. This is my second tour of the day. Earlier, we had a tour of street art in Miraflores. And today also, I'm hosting this second tour about, well, a sunset and also surfers and stories. And today's story is going to be the story of the melting pot we are. So thanks for coming today. If you have a question, feel free to ask. Feel free to, just comment what you would think about, what you are seeing. If there's something you don't find very clear, just share it here. My enjoyment is answering all your questions. As a Limanian, as a Peruvian, I know we are sometimes a little tricky to understand. We are a combination of Spanish roots, Incan roots, and roots from all over the world. So this tour is going to possibly answer many of your questions about who Peruvians are. So please, here you have the chat for asking. And let me know also if you're ready to start with this walk along the coast of Lima, looking to the Pacific and also seeing some really nice parks. So give me a thumbs up if you are here, if you're ready, if you are excited for this walk. Oh, gracias, Kay. Thank you, Molly. Gracias, Rachel. Thank you so much for your participation, my friends. So let's look for the ocean and let's check where the surfers are in this moment. So, vamos. Look at this nice part of the park. This is Miraflores. We are still in Miraflores. Earlier I had a tour, I hosted a tour about street art. And hi Pam, hello Ellie, thank you. And the cat also, hi to the cats. And we are in the zone we call the Malecon of Miraflores. And look the line of people here. So what kind of event is happening in this moment here for people to be queuing for minutes and minutes? Let me show you what's happening. The recently inaugurated park, Chinese Peruvian, this park commemorative to the relation between Peru and China, the fusion of these ancient millenarian cultures that started in the time of the 19th century. So this line of people that are queuing are actually queuing to get inside this part of the Malecon, where the park has been inaugurated just few weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, it was inaugurated. Look at this very nice lions here at the entrance. And the park is part of the commemorations for the bicentennial of the independence of Peru, which was proclaimed in the year 1821 after a long battle for let's say, obtaining our freedom from the Spanish control. So we are now going to continue because in this side, I think we will have a better angle, a better view of the park. Of course, we are not going to be stuck in that line for too long. We're going to keep walking. But does anyone in the group has previously known that Peruvians are a combination of African descendants, Spanish descendants, Inca descendants, Chinese and Japanese? So possibly this is the first time you are hearing about this story. So we're going to talk about this interesting topic. And if you have questions, please let me know. Also, are you able to receive the images correctly? Are they pixelated? Just let me know if the let's say the images you're receiving are right. So in that way, I know we can stay a little bit longer. So I hope everything is good with the internet reception. And let's keep going here. So first of all, our walk today is going to take us down to the beach. We are not just going to be here up, we're going down. Many people in this part of Lima are just having a fun time, enjoying themselves here, let's say with their pets, with their children, breathing fresh air. And you can see that Peruvians are a combination of different ethnic backgrounds. Peruvians come in different shapes, skin colors, eye colors, hair colors, speak different languages sometimes, right? Because in Peru we have also the Spanish and we have the Quechua, we have the Aymara, we have different Amazonian languages, and well, a Peruvian can use each one of these different languages as their first language and still be, of course, 100% Peruvian, right? So how come this country is so mixed? What is the population of Peru? Mora, thanks for your question. Nowadays, Peru has about 31 million inhabitants. We haven't done official census since before the pandemic, and I point out the pandemic, but also I point out the mass immigration from Venezuela that started a few years before the pandemic in 2020. So, there is possibly a big increment in the population of Peru due to this immigration, right? And also, we're talking about immigrations, no? Now we have a large number of Venezuelans living here in Peru, and they are also marrying Peruvians, and they are having now, their children, their offsprings, which are also the fusion of both nations. So that's how it actually happened in the old days. Another nice view of the park dedicated to the Chinese immigration, the Chinese culture in Peru. We have also a Chinatown in downtown Lima. So this is not the only element that reminds us the Chinese presence. And do you know how many people in Peru call themselves descendants of Chinese? How many, what is the percentage you think of Peruvians that call themselves descendant of Chinese? So please give me here your opinions. You can guess, of course, how many Peruvians in percentage you think call themselves Chinese descendants. So we will continue walking. We have a lot to see. And also we will talk about other immigrations. We will talk about the Italian immigration, for example, the German immigration, the French immigration, the English, and We even will talk about the African immigration, which also was one of the largest, one of the most important in number. But we're starting today with the Chinese immigration because, of course, we have a beautiful park that has been inaugurated, and you can see how successful this park is. Everybody's coming to take their pictures there because it feels as if they were in China. Maybe they post these pictures in their Facebook and say, look, I've been in China. So Marlene is commenting. Thank you, Marlene, for your guessing. So 45%, Mora says 50%. Interesting guesses. Please keep going. I'm going to answer in a moment. Indeed, it's a large number, by the way, of people that are descendants of Chinese, but also keep in mind that we have descendants of Africans, which is also a large number. We have descendants of the Spanish, the Europeans in general. We have people from different parts of the world that have arrived finally to Peru in the times of the, especially 19th century. That was the period when most of the immigration for the world came, right? And when you see Peruvians, let's focus in the faces of the Peruvians, right? When we see the average Peruvian, we indeed see traces of the indigenous blood. In a way, also in the skin color. Oh, thank you, Kate. 20%. Yes, interesting guessing too. We're going to answer in a moment. So you can see that we have the indigenous influence, but it's not the only influence. Sometimes you'll see curly hair. Sometimes you're going to see, light color of eyes, or, almond-shaped eyes. Like, for example, in my case, you can see that there's some Asian over here, Asian over there, right? So we are a melting pot. So, well, now time to answer, my friends. What is the number of Peruvians that say they are descendants of Chinese? Well, the number, official number, is 3 million Peruvians feel themselves as descendants of the Chinese. They are genetically connected, maybe a grandparent, grandfather, grandmother. So that's about 10% of the population of Peru. Also, your estimates are very interesting. Of course, the number is huge, 3 million Peruvians. But remember that here in Peru, we had also other large ethnicities, even larger than the Chinese. For example, or just guessing, which one would be larger? Which one do you think will be larger? Italian or African? So please, give me here your comments, your guessings. Italian or African? Which one will be the second, let's say, biggest, community of descendants after the one that we call mestiza, which is the descendants of the indigenous mixed with the Spaniards. So if the internet decreases a little bit, please stay tuned. It's going to get better soon. And also I'm going faster to the other end to have better reception. So muchas gracias. So we're going to keep walking over here. And the internet has dropped a little bit low here for moments. So are you still there, my friends? Can you still see me? Coming today to this tour. African interesting. Muchas gracias, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Just yes, because it comes up to here is a combination of stone and mud, and it has been, piled here for thousands this is something not we had in Lima, huge river, millions of years ago, that now it's gone, it's extincted. So let me move a little bit farther so you can have a better view of the section we've seen, or we walk through. So how was the party of my friend Sayuri? Were you able to be in her party? Well, I was just for a couple of minutes there saying happy birthday to her. We have here some sound intermittent. Yes, I'm moving. How is now? Getting better? Here we are recovering the internet. And how is the sound now? And we have here some people doing something like Zumba. And very motivational to have an instructor like him. We can see also in the upper part a little bit of the Chinese park. And this is the new normal, right? Doing exercise in the parks. We are on fire here, Kate. So, I like very much his music. So now that we have fully recovered our internet, I was waiting a little bit for the internet to come back. Yeah, Molly. Hey. We will also give a look to where we come from. Look at this. These are the cliffs of Lima. In Spanish, we call the cliff Barranco. That's why we have one famous district that is called Barranco. And notice that the barrancos of Lima, these cliffs, they are actually accumulation of pebbles and mud. We're going downwards to show you a bit better. So let's say bye to the dancers. Let's go down. I had my dose of exercise. No more, please. Time to eat. Look at this. The morning glory. Morning glory. Morning glory. Yes, Pam. These are the selected flower to sort of like cover all the cliff, because we used to have then from forward, because due to the cliffs we have some cuts of the internet. So I'm going to move, and we are going down. I hope you like the ocean. I hope you are here for the ocean. Besides also the sunset. Maybe today the god Inti, the god son of the Incas, will be nice with me and will show himself in the tour. So let's cross the fingers for that. So, well, I was mentioning something about this drastic way that we have now adopted to avoid erosion. So look at this. Can you see clearly the nets? Can you see the nets here? So this net is here for a reason. It's not aesthetic. Actually, it's not very aesthetic, but it's because you know already that the material that conforms the cliff is a combination of a stone and let's say mud, right? Because this used to be the bottom of a gigantic river that now is gone. Actually, you can see the stones here, so they keep falling sometimes. So we used to use the morning glory as a way to keep everything behind, but sometimes the morning glory don't stick to all the wall. So the plan B was using the net, right? So now I'm giving you a picture of the net with no hand, but not ruining your pictures. And now we will continue. So, well, now let's keep moving. So, how many of you surf, my friends? Any one of you surf? Do I have some Californian girls here in the group, Californian boys? I know Californians love surfing, and maybe that's what we have in common too, besides the cliff. So that's why I'm asking. So we have lots of beaches here that are fully dedicated to surfing. So if you were wondering, we have lots of people surfing every day here, and the water is very cold in this part of the country. Because we have the Humboldt Current. So let's have the crossing. Actually, can you see that's the bridge that crosses to the beach. Earlier today there was a competition, surfing competition, so we see also some surfers there at this time in the afternoon, and also the breeze is fantastic here. So, by the way, for those that don't know it, this is the Pacific, my friends. This is the Pacific. Lima looks directly to the Pacific. We are blessed with this perfect view. Lima is called, or its history has been called differently with very nice names, usually. Like, for example, Lima used to be called the Pearl of the Pacific because of its view, its location, because also Lima was very wealthy because we are a port city. So we had lots of wealth in Lima. Also, Lima was called the Garden City, although that's sort of like opposite to its natural reality, no? Because Lima lays on a desert. We don't have much rain here. Only 1 cubic centimeter of rain per year. And, well, this is nowadays one of the new names we give to the city, no? This is the city of the surfers, right? Because we have lots of surfers here. So now we keep walking. And also, let's keep talking about the different ethnicities. So I remember I asked something about what is the other important descendancy, the ethnic group or a culture, let's say, that we have in Peru that is numerous. And the answer is the Afro-Peruvian group, which is also very large. But to be very honest, there are many Afro-descendants that they don't call themselves Afro because they are also descendants of indigenous, because they are also descendants of other different groups. So that's why now people usually call themselves mestizo. Mestizo is sort of like a bigger box, right, in which many more people can fit in, right? I am mestiza as well, because if you ask me which is your background, if I say all of my different backgrounds, you will be very surprised. I am Afro-descendant, I am descendant also of Spanish, I have a lot of indigenous also ascendancy in my family, Chinese descendant as well. So I have a little bit of everything. Most Peruvians are like that too. So over here, we can see this avenue. This is the Costa Verde Avenue. The name Costa Verde is related with the color of part of the cliff. Do you know what is a verde, my friends? Let me know if you have heard before this word in Spanish. Muy bien, exactly, Kate, exactly, Molly. Verde is green, that's right? But naturally, of course, this cliff is not green, because remember that we have, this material, this combination of mud and stone. But this part is artificially irrigated nowadays to keep this green appearance. We know also that some sections of the cliff used to be, in the old days, before even, of course, this freeway existed, we're talking about the colonial times, green. And the reason how it was possible that this cliff used to be green is because we had some natural irrigation, some springs of water coming from the cliff. And this is because we have rivers. And in the city we have one, for example, Lima River. So there used to be filtrations of the water, like little arms of the river that were coming here to the ocean. And they used to, like carve holes, springs in certain parts of the rock. And that water irrigated also that segment. That's why there were parts that used to be green. Oh my God, look at this. So beautiful. We have here a perfect ocean view. Yes, Molly. And we have our surfers. Surfing actually is a very old, let's say, a sport in Peru. Of course, not called surfing like in the old days, in the pre-Hispanic times. But we used to have, in the pre-Hispanic times, cultures in Peru that used to practice something similar to surf. You can see here. Ooh, haha. What a nice view indeed. So from here, I want to just give you the chance of seeing some of the surfers in action. So in the pre-Hispanic times, societies such as the Mochica or Moche culture used to practice a ceremonial sport. It was associated with the religion of these people. That we don't know actually the name they used to give to this sport, but they created vessels that are nowadays in museums, in which they portrayed fishermen, maybe priests actually, that are surfing the waves. And they are even like standing sometimes in these not boards but rafts. They were sort of like boats, raft boats, made from totora, which is a type of raft that grows here in Peru, in the coast of Peru, and also in the high plateau in Titicaca Lake. And maybe you've been able to see the tours of my colleagues Mike in Puno, in Titicaca, and also more recently I think Elizabeth from Arequipa has traveled to Puno as well. And they also show about the totora reed and also the boats that are made there from this material. So imagine thousands of years ago, the people of Peru used to surf. But of course they surf with an intention more like ceremonial. They used to do this to please the deities, to honor their gods, to sort of like worship the gods of the ocean, for example. And what happened when they were doing these activities, or they were fishing on these boats, these raft boats, for example, was taken as an omen for the future, right? So well, this is why I say Peruvians used to surf since before possibly the surfing sport was invented in Hawaii. Well, we know that about 2,000 years ago, already the people of the north part of Peru were surfing the waves of the Pacific. And the sky is tinted in different colors. Sometimes we see like a rainbow in the sky. And I like also to think about this view from a perspective of the ancient people of Peru, the ancient people of the coast, that animated everything spectacular that happened here around them. The pre-Hispanic societies consider that the gods, of course, created everything, but these gods, sometimes they were able to see and touch. For example, the mountains were gods. So these were not like invisible gods. They were gods they could see with their bare eye. Also, the ocean was not a male entity, was a female entity. When you talk to the fishermen nowadays, for example, in the market about the fish, the catching of the day, they say, la mar ha sido buena hoy día. So the sea has been good today. But why I'm saying this? They say la mar instead of el mar. In proper Spanish, when we talk about the sea, el mar, we call it male, el. That's male now. But for the fishermen, it's not possible that the sea is male. They call her la mar. So they make clear that for them, the ocean is female. Everything in the pre-Hispanic times that was humid, that was connected with the underworld, the world of the caves, the world of below the sea, right? The low world, the darkness was connected with the female. Possibly because this connection was made in the idea, or based in the idea, that the womb of the mother where the baby is grown is a world of darkness, right? And it's a humid world. So that's why women, which of course in the state of pregnancy is they said the full state of being a woman, for the perspective of these pre-Hispanic people, they are connected with that, with those characteristics, right? So just to give you an idea of why fishermen in Peru consider female the ocean. Thank you so much, by the way, to my friends that are joining to this tour, to this event, which is happening live in Lima, Peru. We are chasing the sunset, which today, because of the La Niña phenomenon in Lima, again, we are just seeing little glimpses of the sky, the sun, which is behind, but also clouds. Officially, this tour was originally called Sunset Surfers and Stories, but I had to change it to Clouds Surfers and Stories. Would you like me to go down? Would you like me to go closer to the beach? Let me know it, please. I would like to know if you would like me to go closer to the beach to see some surfers. So I think it would be lovely to have the chance of seeing some of them from a closer perspective. Also, I think the internet connection is getting stronger and better. I hope it is improving. You know, sometimes connection is not always perfect, but yes, please. Okay, let's do it, Pam. Let's do it. Of course. I was waiting just to hear yes. Gracias, Molly. Yes, let's do it. Vamos, vamos. Look at this sky. Look at the colors. So how beautiful. And also seeing the same sky that my Incan ancestors saw 2,000 years ago, for example. And also seeing the landscape that many of my ancestors saw when the first Spanish ships arrived to the coast of Lima. Gracias, Kate. I'm so happy that you are still enjoying this sunset, because, well, in the grayness of these cloudy skies, also we can find some really nice surprises, right? So, let me also see with you here the surfers. And one element also that is very, very typical to Peru, to the coast, especially of Lima, is that the beaches are stony beaches, rocky beaches. They are not sandy beaches. And the sound also that makes the hitting of the water with the rock is fabulous. I'm going to, in a moment, give you a couple of minutes of satisfaction, hearing this relaxing chantic produced by the water of the Pacific touching or hitting the rocks, which are the actually rocks that have fallen from the cliff. Can you see these rocks? They are pebbles. They are perfect polished stones. This old current of water that originally ended up here in Lima, that came from the Andes millions of years ago, this mega river that created this huge bay where we are. What's the one also that carved the shape of the bay and brought or dragged this stone from the Andes, polishing the stone by the effect of the rolling, the hitting of the stone in this process of, moving from the Andes down, right? So now let me give you just a little moment for enjoying the sound of nature. The birds you see in the distance, my friends, are cormorants. We have cormorants, we have pelicans. All of these birds are producers of guano. And the guano is such an important product in Peru. It was the reason of the immigration of many people from Europe, the guano boom period of Peru. We're talking about the mid-19th century until the 70s of the 19th century. So a period of over 20 years when people from different parts of Europe came looking for opportunities. The guano is, maybe surprisingly for you all, a material that is a very good fertilizer. It's an excellent natural fertilizer. So when the properties of the guano were rediscovered to the world, because the Incas used the guano in fertilization of their plantation fields, but the Spaniards did not care about this product, so this is why we stopped using it in Peru. So later, in the early 19th century, German scientist Alexander von Humboldt rediscovered the properties of this material, and he suggested this product to be used to increment the strength of the soil, of the land, to produce better crops. So this is why the business of the guano became huge, and people from Italy, from Germany, from England, from France came, workers of course, land workers, came to pick up the guano. Also, the Chinese coolies came to work to pick up the guano. And the money from the guano built the city, built the wealth of Lima. So thanks to the guano, we were able to prosper, right? So it's really funny because one will never associate guano with wealth. But yes, Peruvians, we were very, very proud of that period of our history, and this is also why you see lots of beautiful buildings in the historic center of Lima. So now you know that Peruvians are descendants of different ethnic groups. We have different traditions, different religions also, different ways of seeing the world. At this time in the afternoon, it is the sunset moment. People are here not to swim mainly, just to take some pictures, just to relax and see the surfers, which might be freezing cold, because it's freezing cold in this moment, the water. The temperature of the water is about 14 degrees Celsius. So cold, cold water. Let me get closer, a little bit closer to the beach. And also to have, oh, look at this. Whoa. Yay. Yeah. We have to be careful when we walk. Okay. And here we are. Surfing arrived to Peru as a sport in the 1930s. Let's say a dam of immigrants to Peru introduced this sport. Carlos Doñi Larco A man who in his days was very, very handsome and very, very sporty, and also, well, a very rich man. He had a really nice combination. So he traveled the world with the money of his family. He didn't need it to work. And once he went to Hawaii, and in Hawaii, he realized that this sport existed, right? And he also realized that the waves we have here in Peru are very, very similar to the ones of Hawaii. Thank you so much, Marek. Thank you so much. And thanks so much to my friends that today are able to support this tour with a tip, because it helps us to continue doing these events. It also helps Heygo to continue keeping this platform free to join on every tour and just keep supported. So muchas gracias. Since now also, it almost looks like we might get a sunset after all. Yes, Kevin, I'm crossed 5 minutes of this tour. So, but still, well, I think that the opportunity of seeing the surfers enjoying themselves also with these pastel colors in the back is really priceless. No? You are having the chance of enjoying this stroke in Lima from the high, even higher than where I am standing by night time. So it goes higher quite fast, by the way. This amazing able to see every day the sunset, but in regular occasions we see, of course, more the sunset in this around this time. Donna, muchas gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for coming. I hope you had a fun afternoon with me, that you enjoyed the stories, that you enjoyed the views. I know there were some gaps in the connection. That's because of the cliffs that we walked down. But I hope this didn't ruin the experience. And at the end, we were able to see the beautiful sunset, you know, with some pastel colors in the back. So thank you, God Inti, for allowing me to show the world the beauty of this part of the country. Muchas gracias, amigos, for your participation. Thank you so much for coming to Lima. Gracias, Molly. Thank you, thank you. Yes, every tour we can learn something new. I try to bring you to see different places. I also learn a lot every day from you. All the questions, all the exchange of knowledge also helps me to keep learning from the world as well. I just want to show you here the cliff, how beautiful, how big it is, 80 meters high, by the way. And apartments in the top of this cliff, they are valued in approximately $1 million. So very, very expensive view. So, well, my friends, thank you so much, and have a lovely, lovely rest of the weekend. I'm going to be doing lots of new tours for our platform very soon. So stay tuned, please. If you see in the upper part, the button follow, and you want to see my upcoming tours, please click on that button. If you don't see that button, it means that you are already following me. So all the best to you, my friends. Have a lovely weekend. Take care. Love from Lima, from your guy Vanessa. Thank you, and until next time. Bye-bye. Thanks to you, Mora. Gracias. Thank you, Molly. Thanks for your support. Really helps me a lot. Muchas gracias.